Democratic Massachusetts Congressman Jake Auchincloss. He's a Marine veteran and has been pushing President Biden to make this momentous decision. Congressman, thanks so much for being here. Why did President Biden finally allow this? You've been pushing for a long time, as have others.
Good evening, Elizabeth. Thanks for having me on. This is long overdue good news, but the scope of the authority needs to be widened even further, in particular, beyond just the bounds of Kursk, to allow Ukraine to use ATACMS and even potentially F-16s to strike Russia's oil refining capacity around Moscow. The 4 oil refineries that surround Moscow account for a quarter to a third of Russia's refined petroleum, and that is the lifeblood of Putin's war economy. By striking those sites, Ukraine can largely negate his manpower advantage.
But wouldn't that be incredibly provocative to attack Russia in that way with American missiles?
Well, you say provocative, I say strong. For 2.5 years, the West has tried this approach of too much deference to Putin's threats. We have been flinching every time he flexes. It hasn't worked. Ukraine is stuck in a war of attrition. North Korea is invading Europe. It's time to try something different. Autocrats respect one language only, and that is the language of military strength.
But, you know, critics have been saying all along that Biden has been too intimidated by Putin's rhetoric and his threats to use nuclear weapons and his threats to attack NATO. Many critics think that President Biden has forced Zelensky to, in essence, fight with one hand tied behind his back.
Yes, I think we have under-equipped and under-empowered Ukraine. And to be precise about that, most NATO militaries, Elizabeth, fight with combined arms. They fight with infantrymen, they fight with artillery, they fight with air support, and they also fight with cyber attack capabilities. And so you are layering fires to provide as much cover for your troops as possible, and they are integrated so that your enemy has no good choices, is the key. If they're ducking, you're hitting them behind their cover, and if they stand up, you're shooting them square in the chest. And that is NATO Tactics 101. But what we've asked Ukraine to do is fight basically on one dimension. We've said, you've got to use just your infantrymen, just your ground assault units, without the accompanying air power that most NATO militaries would use for commanding advantage. We have to give Ukraine the tools and the authorities to win this war, not simply to not lose it.
But the fact of the matter is, the war's been going on for 1,000 days now, and we haven't so far. President Biden is only in office for another 2 months. Should he be making moves like this right at the end of his term?
Yes, he should be lifting all restrictions on the use of ATACMS and F-16s to enable Ukraine to provide air supremacy and supporting fires for their troops and to attack Russia's oil refining capacity. He should be underwriting more loans on Russia's frozen assets so that Ukraine can use not just the $50 billion that's already been underwritten, but more to help turbocharge its military-industrial base. Basically, he should be MAGA-proofing Ukraine's fight as much as possible.
The Kremlin said today that this will add fuel to the fire. Do you worry about tensions escalating and the West being further drawn into this conflict, or even being subject, either us or our NATO allies, to some sort of attack from Putin?
I worry about losing. I worry about Vladimir Putin taking Kiev and learning the lesson that might makes right. And I worry about Xi Jinping sitting there in Beijing and saying now is the time to try to take Taiwan, or the Ayatollah in Tehran saying now is the time to race to a nuclear weapon and take out Israel. These autocrats are all linked together. It's a very thin ideological alliance. They don't agree on a whole lot in terms of their philosophy of the world, but they do agree on their desire to attack the West in all its manifestations, and weakness in one area invites aggression in another area.
But in this case, with President Biden giving the go-ahead to use these American missiles on Russian territory, we've got this on one hand. He's a lame duck president on his way out. We've got an incoming president-elect, Donald Trump, who's saying, I don't want to pay for this anymore, and we need to figure out, negotiate some sort of settlement. It feels like foreign policy whiplash.
The facts on the ground drive 90% of any negotiations at the table. I mean, that's true in, domestic civil affairs issues, and that's true in warfare as well. And so I think the key needs to be over these next 2 months, how do we empower Ukraine to change the facts on the ground as much as possible using U.S.-made weapons. I would also say that there is an increased role for the European Union here. We need our European Union allies to be demonstrating, both by word and by deed, that they're going to be with Ukraine for the long haul. and to be extending the provisions of EU's Lisbon Treaty to Ukraine that creates a collective defense security umbrella for it, because NATO membership is not imminent, but EU collective defense guarantees could be.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.